The disturbing discovery: 4 unidentified bodies found near a beach on Long Island, New York. One of the most troubling aspects of this case for police is the way it echoes a similar discovery not far away in Atlantic City back in 2006. The bodies of 4 prostitutes found in a drainage ditch in a crime that has never been solved. Investigators are now considering the possibility of a serial killer at work, and Andrea Canning has our report.
Should people be scared?
Oh, no, I don't think, no. I don't want anybody to think that we have a Jack the Ripper running around Suffolk County with blood dripping from a knife.
But there is a believed serial killer on the loose.
Chilling new developments breaking now on New York's Long Island. Police are worried they have a serial killer on the loose.
4 bodies and counting.
Striking fear into this small oceanside community.
Everyone's gonna have to go.
Today, police expanded their search looking for more bodies, even closing down a 10-mile stretch of road.
But nobody's gonna be able to stay here. You're gonna have to go on the other side of the bridge.
4 women have already been found this week, dumped along this barren beach sometime within the past 18 months. Some were wrapped in burlap sacks found just 500 yards apart and appear to have been removed from a vehicle.
It sounds like they were dumped in a location that the killer felt comfortable, that he had time to remove the bodies from a vehicle and probably drag or carry into a wood line.
The man in charge of the investigation, Commissioner Richard Dormer, admits he has no official suspects. How challenging is this investigation for you?
Well, this is very challenging, as you can imagine. 4 unidentified bodies at this point, and it's critical to an investigation that you identify the victims. We're waiting for the science to be completed.
But there is a trail of potentially critical clues. From a frantic 911 call to postings on a popular website to a series of unsolved murders in Atlantic City. This latest mystery unfolded Saturday after Long Island police literally stumbled onto the crime scene. The first body was discovered during a routine canine training exercise. Officers chose the location because Shannon Gilbert, a 24-year-old known prostitute who met her clients on Craigslist, had gone missing here in May.
She said, "Help me," again, and she just looked like she was spaced out.
Gus Coletti was one of the last known people to see Gilbert alive. He says she was running from his neighbor's house, Joseph Brewer, one of her alleged clients. She pounded on Coletti's door saying someone was after her. Coletti says he called 911, but she took off, tumbling down his front steps, vanishing into the weeds.
I could have saved that girl if I didn't know something was going to happen.
Her mother and sister believe she then called 911 on her own.
Her last phone call was 23 minutes to 911. When she was grabbed and pulled into this truck, the police missed her by 5 minutes.
She was basically running away, trying to leave,
screaming.
And it was heard that, get away from me. And she was running and knocking on neighbors' doors and
screaming, "He's trying to kill me, help me, help me."
Police searched Joseph Brewer's home Wednesday night and towed this SUV, but will not comment any further. Brewer did speak to ABC News from inside his mother's house.
Will come out.
Reports say Brewer admitted Gilbert was at a party at his home, but says she became agitated and left on her own.
This picture was taken in February of this year.
Lorraine Ela is another mother anxiously awaiting news about her daughter Megan Waterman.
My mother's intuition is telling me that Megan's not with us. I felt this way for a long time.
Waterman is a 22-year-old single mom and another prostitute who used Craigslist. She went missing in June and could also be among the victims.
The worst part is not knowing where she is, what happened to her. The police haven't really said too awful much because they don't want to reveal anything that can be incriminating to their investigation. I actually heard from the detective today. He came to my house to do a DNA swab to compare my DNA with the 4 women that were found. He is leaning towards one of them as being Megan, but he's not 100% guaranteed. We won't know anything until DNA and dental and the forensic files are all complete.
That's where Dr. Yvonne Malevsky comes in, but the medical examiner admits it could take weeks or months to identify the bodies. How do you go about identifying such badly decomposed bodies?
Generally, we can no longer identify them or classify them by looking at them just visually, so we need to go to forensic odontology, which is dentistry, and forensic anthropology. And anthropology is, loosely speaking, the study of bones and the skeleton. And then the last step is to do the DNA analysis.
As police in New York continue their investigation, they're also working with detectives 160 miles away in Atlantic City. In 2006, 4 prostitutes there were murdered. Their bodies found lying in a drainage ditch. The case has never been solved. Attorney James Leonard represents Terry Olison, a handyman who was investigated for the crimes but was never charged, and denies any involvement.
The fact that we're dealing with 4 women that were disposed of, and it would appear that at least one of them has connections to prostitution, so the similarities to me are striking and very eerie.
Prostitutes obviously are easy prey. They are people that many times are not readily identified because they're living under aliases, they're from another city, they're transient. And what happens is also many serial killers have issues with women, and they believe prostitutes are evil and we should rid society of them.
Commissioner Dormer says he just wants to bring closure to the families of each woman, whomever they may be.
Families are, wondering, is that their loved one? And so we would like to put closure on this thing for people. And that's why the identification is really critical for the families, for the investigation.
Tonight, police confirmed Shannon Gilbert is not one of the 4 women, but they are still investigating her disappearance. Authorities have not identified any of the bodies found, and at least 2 families are left wondering what happened to their daughters. For Nightline, I'm Andrea Canning in Long Island, New York.